All right, should I do that thing?
Yeah. Yes, whenever you're ready.
What up, it's DJ Lucas. You're listening to Hip Hop Made Me Do It with Toasty Z, WMUA, UMass 91.1. DJ!
Word. Awesome. So it's DJ Toasty Z in the booth. Hip Hop Made Me Do It. You know what it is. You already know what it is. We got a very special guest in the studio today. Fresh off of his tour with WIKI. A-Town native, A-Town veteran. His new project coming out, Till Death Do Us Part 1, coming this Monday on Halloween. You know who it is. It's your friendly neighborhood DJ. We got the young Mr. Clean in the studio. DJ Lucas in the booth. How's it going today, dude?
What's up? DJ Lucas. How you doing? Toasty, my guy.
I'm doing great, my guy. Just a little introduction, if for the viewers that don't know DJ Lucas, you should already, but a little introduction. Head of the Dark World Music Collective. He started out here in Western Mass about 5 years ago. It's branched out to New York since then. And he has, they even have some artists down south doing their thing. Like I said, his new project coming out Monday through Letter Racer. So first of all, I just want to welcome you to the studio. How you doing today, dude?
Doing good.
Doing
Excited
good.
to be at UMass.
Always. UMass is always a good time. So like I said, I know better than to ask you what Dark World is, but like I would wondering if you could just go through kind of the evolution of Dark World, how you saw it when you first started out, like if you ever envisioned it to get this big, or where do you actually see it going, and looking back, how do you think it's grown and developed and changed?
Yeah. Early on, I was just making beats. That's like late 2010, early 2011. I'm just making beats. Sen, who's Morimoto, is rapping. Weird Dane, my brother, is making beats. There's bands, there's punk music coming on. Taxidermists and Whirl and Rat Clone Communal Suicide. So we had a different kind of mix then. But then throughout the years, from like 2010 to now, kind of just slowly, the beats and the rapping and the hip-hop thing kind of took over a little more. So it became, that was more of what was going on. That was the focus. But really, I was just trying to find a way to, make a living in music or art somehow, not have to work a normal job. Didn't see it getting to this point, but it's pretty exciting. Yeah, but it's pretty much just a family. Dark World's just a family of friends who make music together, make art, make designs, make music, make clothes, whatever. But it's cool. We're trying to figure out how to monetize, just the creativity.
Definitely. And I think in the last, like I said, 6 months or so, there's definitely been some big moves and big things happening.
Mm-hmm.
I know this summer Fader came out and, filmed for a whole week, and, they did that video spot and that article, not on the online article, but the article in their, printed magazine. Like I said, you got your new project coming out through Letter Racer, collaborating with them. And like I said, you've expanded outside of just the Western Mass, Amherst scene. You got a bunch of artists in New York doing their thing, and some artists down south as well. So let's see. So, talking to E-Rat in our interview and just, everyday talk, it always seems like making music and playing music has always been like a big part of not only, his life, but your life as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you guys, like I said, started more as punk kids, and you kind of transitioned to doing more of the hip hop type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious, like, what first inspired you to start making music, and, started what, not only that, but what inspired you to also start rapping and producing and become DJ Lucas, if you will?
So my dad was a musician. I grew up with like music in the household, like keyboards and guitars. So I was pretty quickly just like, I want to, mess around with this stuff. My dad like scored films a little bit and some random stuff like that. Just like, little odd jobs within music that can, make me use some money and stuff. So there was always just music around the house. Until recently, I would say about 8 years ago, my dad kind of stopped doing as much music, but the stuff's still around to an extent. So yeah, keyboards and organs and guitars, and then I started a band when I was in 5th grade with a bunch of my friends, a lot of them are still in Dark World. My brother, Lucas Graham, was in 3rd grade. Eamon was in 5th grade with me. So we were really young, and then we did this band until like 10th grade, from like 5th grade to 10th grade.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started another band with Chris Wardlaw and Dana that later became Whirl and Worms. And throughout that time period, I'd say around 7th grade, 8th grade, I started making beats. 7th or 8th grade, I'm making beats. So I'd always been making beats on the side. Dana had always been making beats on the side. So 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th grade, those grades. I'm listening to like a lot of like Lil Wayne, like Clips, like Pusha T, Neptunes, Busta Rhymes, stuff like that, like Dilated Peoples, Jurassic 5, just like lots of rap, lots of different stuff. A$AP Rock. But Lil Wayne was the biggest. Lil Wayne was the big one for me.
Mm-hmm.
That made me want to rap, I think. And then, Just Blaze and all the producers on all those tapes, and the Neptunes and stuff, made me want to make beats probably. So, yeah, just was, always a huge fan of that stuff. Just as big a fan as I was of, like the Jesus Lizard or whatever rock I was listening to. And then, time went on. Some people went to college. Some people didn't. I ended up going to New York for a little bit, and I was by myself. So I made Lucas's Mansion 1, which was my first tape. I just sat, just bored. I needed some creative outlet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Without, the friends. I was always the singer in the band, so I was like, oh, I'm going to try this. So I made a bunch of beats, and then it was cool. And people seemed to like it, so I was kind of, I guess it just kind of inspired me to keep doing it.
Definitely.
But I didn't really think much of it when I made it.
Yeah, you're just kind of going with the flow.
Thing,
yeah. So what would you say some of your, like, obviously you can hear a lot of like the punk influences in your music, or in your sound a little bit. But who would you say like some of your biggest influences are, either in like the sound of your music or how you approach making or delivering your music, or just like people that inspire you and influence you?
For all.
Yeah, just all aspects.
I mean, Wayne is huge. Lil Wayne is huge. I really like just what he does. He's the best to me. He's sort of the best rapper. But then other stuff, I mean, like big influences of me were like David Yao from the Jesus Lizard and Scratch Acid. He's the singer of those bands. He's big. Those bands in general. Enya is huge for me.
Nice.
As far as making beats and production, thinking about like sounds, and it's huge, and vocals to an extent.
I don't think a lot of people would expect you to say that.
I don't know. I love Enya. I really do.
DJ Lucas loves Enya.
I love like a lot of ambient music, like Harold Budd and Brian Eno and Robin Guthrie. That stuff's great. I listen to that stuff a lot. Honestly, I like to think about it in relation to like just my beats or something. Just try to find cool sounds.
Definitely.
Those are interesting. What else, though, inspires me? I'm a big music fan, so Wayne, ambient stuff, Enya, David Yao. I mean, Fugazi, and Black Flag, and Refused, and all that stuff I really liked. And then also, like Lil Herb, and going back to older rap, too. Like Andre Nicotina. I don't know. Lots of cool stuff.
Right.
But big influences, yeah, punk and hip hop. Wayne is big. Wayne is very big. Eminem is big.
Definitely, and I think you can hear that in like your production. You like to like find more, not obscure sounds, but like mixed sounds that you wouldn't think would necessarily go together. Like some.
Yeah.
Like you were playing me some beats, some like weird like banjo stuff with like hip hop, and it it works. It's just a little. It's a little quirky. Yeah. It's a little wacky, but it works.
Definitely.
And especially some of the beats on the newer album, is the intro beat is kind of funky. That's a Ghost beat. That's a Ghost beat. He always does a lot of interesting stuff as well. So I'm also curious, like you said, you rep Western Mass pretty hard. Mm-hmm. As you say, and never move. Mm-hmm. You're the king of Western Mass.
I'll never move.
You'll never move. So I'm curious what it is you love about the area so much, and also, just I'd like to get your perspective on the music scene in general. I think that, like, talking to Eric, I think people that have grown up here have a very different perspective than, like, UMass kids that just know the UMass music scene, and just your perspective on either, like, you know, the scene in general, you know, the basement scene, or just like the more official scene.
Yeah, Western Mass is great. You know, it's like anywhere else to an extent. It's home for me, at least. It's good. I mean, I'm at a point now where when I think about Western Mass and I talk about Western Mass, I'm not really talking about community, or, to be perfectly honest, I'm not really talking about the community, or kind of just like enjoying the natural like landscape of it, and just sort of like the quiet. So I mean, I have great friends here, and I grew up here, and I had a great, you know, growing up here. But when I talk about Western Mass now, I'm thinking about, you know, I'm not out in Northampton or like walking around.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like.
I'm not like an active community member.
I'm in Hadley, or just in my friend's house. So, you know, the scene was insane growing up here. The scene was insane. It was very fun. Being really young, going to Flywheel, and, you know, there's a lot of house venues, probably like 4 times more house venues than there is now. There's some great bands. Some of the great bands, when I was in 10th grade is when I really got into the scene out here, and I started hanging out with a lot of college kids at Hampshire and UMass when I was in 10th grade. And I was in Whirl, and there were some bands that were just really good. Outdates, Limsbin, Gas Station, Red Yellow was a band from UMass that was amazing. Like The Body was always playing out here. A lot of experimental stuff. But there were so many house venues and so many places to get, you know, wasted as a 10th grader, 11th grader, get messed up, just be confused, have fun.
I feel you.
It was a good scene. It was really good. And it was interesting because what's interesting about a scene like this is that because of all the colleges, a huge amount of the kids that are in the scene aren't from here. So a lot of them were, you know, if they went to UMass or Hampshire, they're from all over.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of kids who also, a lot of people from Pittsfield move here when it kind of, you know, coming of age, 18, 19 comes. So a lot of people from Pittsfield, a lot of people from like Wilbraham, different parts of Western Mass. Also like Eastern, like New York, like Troy and stuff. So you get a lot of different kinds of people. And then they all come here and then all make music and live in these weird punk houses together. It's still happening out here, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It always will be. But there was an extent, I would say, in 2009 to 2012, that was pretty magic.
Yeah.
It was a lot of bands. Flywheel was bumping. U.S. Girls was playing here. White Lung, New Sensei, like just so many pretty poppin' bands were coming out. And the very tail end of that was kind of when Speedy Ortiz blew up. And I'd say after Speedy Ortiz blew up, the scene kind of got, in my eyes, just a little bit more dull. Or a little more kept. You know what I mean? It was a little crazy. And then
more chilled out.
Post Dust Bowl, which was a venue in Hadley. Post Dust Bowl, I don't know.
Would you say it got more like?
It got really.
It went from
rocky.
more like punk. Yeah, I was gonna say more punk to like very like.
But that's just kind of what's going
rock
on in music right now, I think, too.
Yeah.
Because when I go to other cities, it seems like indie rock is really bumping there. So I'm just not the biggest fan of indie rock. I mean, I am to an extent. There's stuff I like. And I really did when I was younger. I was a huge fan of like Tokyo Police Club and that kind of stuff at one point, Bright Eyes and all that, you know. I was a sad young boy listening to Bright Eyes. But yeah, it's pretty I mean, it's interesting. It goes through, you know, there was like the real pop punk thing going on for a minute, and now it's indie rock, pop punk before that, and then before that hardcore was just huge out here. And that was cool, but, you know, there was also hardcore shows that you didn't want to go to that weren't going to be fun.
Yeah.
They were going to be just aggressive or just kind of lame. So, but yeah, right now it's very indie rocky, you know, for lack of a better term. It's a little dull sometimes. But
I got you. That's what
But the homies are here. So
yeah, I feel you. I'm trying to help.
We're just trying to make hip hop, you know, it's cool to trying to make hip hop a more accessible thing for like a basement because it's not really always.
Definitely.
And so that's exciting. You know, that's a goal.
For sure. I mean, that's something I'm trying to do as well, is just help put on more hip hop in the area. And
but to be perfectly honest, I kind of dropped off a lot of people have been like, you really dropped off the basement scene. I really did. I just did it for so long. It was
you're not trying to do that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down to an extent, but it's just got to be the right circumstances.
Of course.
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't have to, like, get paid. I could do some do a free show in Western Mass for sure. But it's just got to be like fun. It just can't be like a.
I got you. It's got to be right.
And it's also got to be like, you know, you gotta try to integrate the set. You gotta try to put some different kinds of stuff going on. It can't just be. I don't know. People don't want to put in the work to book a great hip hop show.
Yeah.
In Western Mass, but you could.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. That's what we're trying to put together for sure.
We'll get it. We'll get a lot of them.
For sure. We know we got some good potential venues for sure. I was also talking to my one friend that like would love to have a Show Me the Body show at some point.
Right.
Yeah. So we'll see about that. They have a really nice place. That would be great for that as well. So my other question is like relating to coming up and like making music in Amherst and like trying to make a career out of it. Obviously, like I said, there's an established music scene, but it's like nothing like a huge city like would be like in New York or in LA. Do you think it's like there's like a ceiling on the Amherst scene, or do you think that really even matters in the age of the internet, or do you think it?
Yeah, I think that it doesn't really matter in the age of the internet. I think you could be as big as. I mean, you know, freaking Prince is from like St. Paul, Minnesota. I mean, that's a city, but still.
Minnesota,
you know,
yeah.
It's from like St. Paul, Minnesota, which is a cool place. I've been there, but, you know, his ceiling is pretty non-existent.
Yeah.
So, in St. Paul, maybe it's a city. I don't know. I mean, yeah, Amherst is cool. You know, it's a good place to do music because it's happened before. I think with Dinosaur Jr. and just some random, there's been some energy of like relatively successful artists out here.
Definitely.
With Orchid and One O Tricks Point Never went to Hampshire and Dinosaur Jr. and, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Happier. But no, I don't think there's really a limit or a ceiling.
I got you.
Just with the internet especially. I mean, at one point, yeah, definitely you had to go to Boston and, prove yourself in Boston or whatever. But I'm doing pretty well in Boston, so
yeah,
feeling good about that either way.
Definitely.
People in Boston show love, good shows. Middle East was really good. The show that me and WIKI played the Middle East was a lot of love in Boston.
For sure. And so, like I said, you guys just came off tour with WIKI. Well, first of all, how did that tour go? How was it?
It was good. It was all good. We played like 11 shows.
Nice.
And they were fun. It was me and Louis Go, who you had on the show.
Yeah.
And WIKI and his crew, Matt, Ruben, Sammy. So it was fun,
Nice.
Hitting all the cities, seeing the places.
Any notable moments, any notable experiences on tour?
Got to we drove through Montana. I'd never been to Montana. That was pretty amazing. We played, I'd never really been to Canada. We played all the Canada cities, Montreal, Vancouver, Toronto. That was cool. Notable moments? I don't know. I mean, it was really good. I'd say half the shows were really popping, very, very happy. And half the shows were there was no bad shows. But half the shows were solid.
Good.
We played Minneapolis on a Monday night. Spooky Black came. That was sick.
Nice.
That's
for sure.
Homie. Anyone else we see? I got to meet some cool musicians and shit. Little Ugly Mane was hanging out.
Nice. Weird.
In LA.
For sure. And I also want to ask you, how'd you end up originally connecting with WIKI and Rat King, and how'd that come about?
I initially connected with WIKI because Hawk and Rat King went to a school in Vermont for high school called Putney. And I went to a school for middle school called Charlemont. And that was in Mass. But they're Charlemont's probably only 15 minutes from Vermont.
Yeah.
So we both kind of had the weird little private school connection thing going on. I think his school was a boarding school. He's from New York, so he must have been staying there. But it's called Putney in Putney, Vermont. And so I knew who he just was in general. And then when Rat King started to get some stuff going on, I just saw it on Facebook or whatever. I was like, oh, these guys are cool. I know this guy kind of. And then they played a show in Northampton with Jizza at Pearl Street. And so I just hit them up. I was like, yo, if you guys need a place to stay. I know Hawk just kind of peripherally through school people,
Yeah, definitely.
Private school fucks. Right? Or whatever. And then I just told them to come over. And they slept over. and that was like 4 years ago. So I've been friends with WIKI. I've been closest with WIKI, but I'm cool. I'm really cool with Eric too, and
Nice.
Sporting Life, and those are old homies at this point.
Old homies.
Yeah.
For sure.
I went to the So It Goes like release party, so I've known them for a while.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. And just as far as Dark World goes, like I said, I think you guys are a little, you're a little weird, a little wacky.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely in a good way. Most people wouldn't rap about Calvin Coolidge or, being the king of Western Mass. But
Yeah.
so I think what's interesting about you guys is you're able to be fun and wacky, but still, be taken serious. And it's not like you still make great music and it's not like a joke, but it's, able to have fun, something that's like unique and, authentic. But what do you think attracts people to Dark World?
I think that I think initially sometimes people are like, this is weird. Like what? Like the people want, people like it's like any first reaction. Like people are gonna be like, "The heck is going on? What are you guys doing? Like, why are you guys making this music? Like, is this a joke?" And that's cool. Whenever I watch it now, I don't ever see I don't see it as a joke. But that's just because I guess I take myself too seriously now to an extent. You know what I mean? It's been successful, so I'm like, oh, so these things work. Then I'm gonna do this again. It's gonna work again. It's gonna be serious again. But no, our music really is serious. Like genuinely, everyone's music is pretty serious in this weird way. But what draws people to Dark World? I don't know. It's just different, I guess. It's kind of unique. And the music itself is weird. Like the music itself is like, there's not much music coming out that like sounds that much like it. It has attributes of regular, popular music, right?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of weirdness going on. I think people really like. The video. I say this all the time, but the videos are big. The videos they draw people in. Definitely.
Yeah,
a lot
definitely.
of people say, "Oh, I watched the video. It was weird. I watched it 10 more times. I love it."
Yeah, I would say like with the videos, there's certain songs where I would not play the song without showing them the video. I'd be like,
Yeah.
you need to watch this video because like you hear the song, you're like, whatever. But then if you see the video, it's like,
Yeah,
it's a whole feeling. And then you're like, this is weird. And then you keep listening.
It's
You're like, this is catchy.
a full thought. Yeah.
And then you listen to it 10 times and watch the video 10 times in a row. And you're like, I love it. It's, oh, excuse me.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it too. That's how I feel about it. I guess it's just, it's Dark World's one big art piece, that's not supposed to be like tongue in cheek. It's not supposed to be like we're fucking with anyone or making fun of anything or just making fun of ourselves sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is one big art piece. I think it's just sort of, it has enough energy that just sort of people are like, whoa, I gotta check this out. It's
Definitely.
Weird.
Some weird energy.
Yeah.
Good weird energy. Kind of random, but you're a bit of a character, and I wanted to just ask you about some of your tattoos. You can't see them. Maybe we should. Do you want to take off the jacket? We should show the camera these tattoos for sure. So we got Dark World on the knuckles.
Dark World knuckles.
Right. We got
the camera person coming to do the camera stuff.
for sure. Dark World on the knuckles.
All right. And then we got
The basketball for sure.
It's my these are my first tattoo. Dark World and then this one. And then we got ballerina.
I like, my favorite is the pilgrim hat.
Oh, the mass pike.
The mass pike right there.
The hat. You feel me?
So, like I said, a little bit all over the place, a little bit random, but like,
the Enya.
Enya. Oh, you got the Enya tattoo.
You've seen it.
I didn't know it was an Enya tattoo. I didn't like read it enough to be like, oh, that's the Enya tattoo.
Enya.
Yeah, you really love Enya then. Yeah.
I have more, but there's no reason to show all of them.
I have a Quaker
star
I'm just saying.
too.
You have a Quaker star.
Yeah, I'm a Quaker.
Awesome. So like I said, a little all over the place, but like, just curious like what the significance of them are, like what.
The Dark World knuckle ones, I don't regret, but it's like the kind of tattoo that like I could have regretted a lot.
Yeah.
Because it worked out, so that's great. I got this when I was like 17 though, so it's like a stick and poke and then went over with a pen.
Nice.
But yeah, that was just Dark World. Basketball, I just love basketball. My grandpa played basketball. I played basketball forever. It's like just part of my thing.
Nice.
Love basketball. Ballerina, I don't know. Just kind of like fuck it.
Yeah.
It's like got all over my clothes anyway. And then the hat is like I grew up in Eastern Mass, but I like was raised in Western Mass, so like
Yeah,
it's the mix of like it's like it's like it's like the same as getting like a Massachusetts tattoo.
Yeah, you rep Mass pretty hard for sure.
So it's like both sides, because the Mass Pike is the highway that connects them. And then Enya, because I love Enya. Like listening to Enya as a little ass kid, really young, like 4, 5, 6, 7. And yeah.
Awesome. And I want to specifically ask you about like the ballerina and like how it's kind of become your official like logo at this point. How'd that come about? Was that just like, I don't know, something you thought was cool and you just started rocking with it, or like I said, you used it for the hats and the shirts and the patches?
Yeah.
How did that?
I don't really know how it happened. I made an album cover for my album Early Victims, which was like mostly a produced album and not as much a sang album. It was mostly like beats and weird kind of dance tracks and
Definitely.
stuff. I had some songs that I really liked on it, and I worked on that for like a year. And I made that cover just kind of randomly. It was like the white big box,
Yeah.
With the ballerina. And then I said, hey, this would be cool shirt and hat to promote the album or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of was like, this is bigger than that. This ballerina design is bigger than that.
Yeah.
So that was really, kind of happened accidentally. The idea of just the logo as far as like the ballerina goes, like, I was just looking at like the great other logos like Jordan and Nike and Polo and whatever. And they all like evoke movement, you know what I mean? So that was kind of a big thing. I just wanted something that evoked movement, and also felt like a little less masculine, I suppose.
Yeah.
Something, it didn't have to be, as obviously feminine as a ballerina, but that just concept was important in deciding what I was doing. Just something that felt a little like, more genderless.
Yeah.
But still had like that kind of like power and like movement kind of aspect to it. So yeah, those are big, it's good. Like the ballerina thing feels like kind of the most magic thing that's happened in this weird way.
Yeah, and it's become a whole thing. Ballerina look like Jumpman, like that song.
Yeah, the song just helped it.
The song bangs.
It was funny. It was a slow progression. Like I was rocking the ballerina shit like a year before that song was made.
Yeah.
So it was a thing. I mean, the ballerina thing was a thing before Lucas's Mansion 1. Like it's been around. It's been a thing since before. That album came out in 2014 in the fall. That was my first album. So I probably started making that ballerina shit like the spring of 2014.
Yeah. People definitely rock with the merch, of course, like the hats. Are awesome. The shirts, the ballerina shirts and hats. And I also I couldn't not ask you about the jumpsuit, the Rihanna ballerina.
Yeah.
The story behind that, and if you want to explain to the listeners. So that was just something that Left Hand had designed, and I mean, you can tell the story. And
well, pretty much I just designed a lot of the patches, the actual like designs on the computer, like the ballerina and the fonts, and a lot of people in Dark World, me and Ghost particularly.
Yeah.
And, Dana does some stuff, and we do a lot of that stuff. But they've just been, designs and ideas we'd had in the bank for a while. And so I just gave Julie, who's Left Hand, who's my homie from LA, who we do Early Victims together.
Yeah.
It's like me and her both doing that. And then she has her thing, Left Hand, and then we have Dark World. So Early Victims is sort of the meeting point.
Yeah.
And she pretty much just made a sweatsuit that had a bunch of the Dark World patches on it and also the Early Victim stuff. So it had some Dark World stuff on it, had a Godzilla patch on it. And it was on a pink jumpsuit. And yeah, she somehow, I don't really know. I'm over here in Mass, she's in LA.
Yeah.
Doing her whole LA thing. So I don't really know to the fullest extent how, but she got it to Rihanna's stylist and Rihanna liked it. And she wore it.
Yeah, for sure.
And it was big. It was good.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. The biggest impact it had on my life was just like the way it made kids in my town be like, "Whoa, why is Rihanna wearing clothes that say Dark World?"
Yeah,
have the Massachusetts sign on it.
Definitely. Like
they were just like, "Why is this happening?"
Talking to
Let's
Eric,
go.
he was like, yeah, I mean, like that's like she's the type of person that designers spend their whole life trying to get,
we skipped
to wear her clothes.
We skipped some steps
For sure.
At least, you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Had like 300 followers on Twitter, and Rihanna's like wearing a jumpsuit, so it's pretty successful.
Definitely. And I also have to ask you about this new merch coming out. I saw the video, and at first I thought it was kind of a joke because it was very funny. This lip balm.
Oh, lip balm.
Yeah, you're coming out, and there was a little
It's out now.
jingle that Lucy did.
I wish I had it on me, but yeah, the Dark World lip balm is out. You can go buy it. It's $10 for 2 sticks, free shipping. $5 a stick. It's peppermint.
It just seemed so random that I was like, this is kind of.
We just
gotta be
figured
a
like
little
how
joke.
much cool lip balm is out there, you know? We've been looking around a little bit more. There's some Dunkin' lip balm, but I don't
Dunkin'
think
Donuts
I would ever want
lip
that.
balm? Is it
I don't think I'd
flavored like
ever
Dunkin'
want that
Donuts? What is
flavor.
that? So what's the Dark World flavor?
It's peppermint.
Peppermint.
Yeah,
That's fresh.
We're gonna get some more in the future, but right now we're just it's just it's a novelty. It's just like dark lip balm is something cool, because even when you're done with it, you still hold on to it.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a cool lip balm, like I'm
I
gonna
don't know.
keep that on my shelf.
I don't use that much lip balm. But
I don't either, but a lot of people do. So hopefully they'll use it. But yeah, it's Dark World lip balm. It's FDA approved.
Nice.
Yeah, it's got like the stuff on it that it's FDA. Yeah. And it's DJ Lucas approved as
DJ Lucas approved. Got the seal of approval.
well.
So yeah, I also want to ask you about like the Fader article and the video and just what that experience was like having them come up and film. And I'm just curious if you're happy with how everything turned out or what you thought of it at the end.
Okay, well, I'm gonna answer that question in 2 parts because I have 2 different answers. So, how was it to have them over? I thought they were just gonna kind of follow us around more.
Yeah.
Like, kind of my initial like when they were hitting me up, like, oh, we're gonna do this whole Fader thingy. I was like, cool. I just figured it was like live life.
Yeah.
And they just kind of
Day in
follow
the
us
life
around.
type of thing. Yeah.
But then they kind of I don't know, they kind of expected us to just like get everyone together and all this stuff. But it was fun, because we don't always have everyone together. So we got like 15 of us together or some shit. And it was fun. But it was also kind of like, this isn't, how we live every day.
Yeah, it felt like kind of, what's the word, like contrived or something, like kind of like.
Yeah, contrived is more negative than I would like to say.
No,
but I feel you. It was kind of like.
Staged, like almost like created.
Yeah, I mean, we really do that stuff. That stuff was 100% like what we do, but it was like, that's just not how we live. They made it seem like we live every day like we're just in a freaking like frat house.
Yeah.
Like, that's not true. We all kind of live apart, and I only see, 3 or 4 people from Dark World a week, probably.
Yeah.
So we all have our own lives, we all have our own, whatever relationships or not relationships or struggles or families or whatever. Everyone has their own thing they got to do. Everyone comes from a lot of us come from similar backgrounds, a lot of us don't. So everyone has very different stories. A lot of us.
Yeah.
For the most part, the Western Mass, section of us has a pretty similar story, but
Definitely.
But yeah, so that was a little. It was fun to have Fader here. It was a little more work than I would have liked.
Yeah.
Like on my part, I was just kind of like, what am I putting in work for? I don't care. Why aren't they just filming us? And they were there for like 4 days. Too.
Yeah, they were here for a while. Yeah.
And then the actual thing came out. I was relatively happy with it. I wasn't upset about it. There's little things that everyone's gonna have their qualms about it. Some people are gonna wish they were in it more. Some people are gonna wish they weren't in it as much. Some people are gonna wish something was said differently about them.
Yeah,
everyone who was in the video had something. Oh, I wish they had said that differently, or I wish they hadn't put that in. And then everyone who wasn't in it as much was like, oh, I wish there was just something. So
Definitely.
like for instance, I wish they had just talked about me a little less. I wish they had talked about the group.
Yeah.
More genuinely. So that was my qualm, but overall it's press and hopefully lots more to come.
Definitely. And I noticed they had changed the title of the article too, I guess.
Yeah, I did notice that.
Not in the I was talking to Ghost, I guess not in the printed version but in the online article, and I felt like the first title was kind of like, I don't know, it's like it was just a very it almost seemed like an outside perception of like some people from New York perceiving it like a small town. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think
they
that's how
they use the phrase like hopeless place.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Like
that was
which
one
is,
thing.
extreme.
They made Western Mass seem like it was like I don't even want to compare it to another town negatively right now because
I
I'm
got
about
you.
to
Like the middle of nowhere.
They try
just
to
like,
make it seem like Western, like where we are is like Palmer. You know what I'm saying? Like not that. You know what I'm saying? Like they just try to make it seem like it's kind of like there's not much going on. Dead end. Like I don't want to pretend like we don't live in like a college town. You know what I mean? It's a college area. There's some towns that aren't.
Yeah.
You know that a lot of us are from, but you know I grew up in Amherst. Like it's not a hopeless place.
Yeah,
There's a lot of hope in Amherst for the most part. It's freaking
5 colleges. You know,
there's like a lot of.
There's a lot going on.
Some fancy fucking restaurants and stuff. I don't know. It's doing okay.
They're doing fine.
Yeah, they got
not hopeless isn't the right word.
Got
for
Amherst
sure.
College and got So it's not hopeless.
Definitely not.
Not at all. That was never ever something that we tried to make them.
Yeah, it sounded like something that they were just like some people from the city that are like not used to being anywhere but the city.
That's what I said. I was like, I think that anywhere that's not New York or LA is to these people is hopeless. So that's unfortunate, but that's probably how they see it.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
So I was hoping you could also just talk about some of the members of Dark World, and just like what you think, what's something unique that they each bring to the table.
All right. Let's see. So we got a lot of people. I don't want to leave people out, but if I do, I love you.
You can shout them at the end if we forget.
Yeah, if I leave you out, don't worry. I'm still thinking of you. Don't worry. All right. So we got Dana. That's my brother. Weird Dane. He's a perfectionist when it comes to anything really. But videos is a strong suit. Music's a huge strong suit. Editing, sound editing, whatever. Dana's good at that. Dana was always a good artist growing up and stuff. Dana's just like he'll make it look like the final product for anything. He does a lot of work with everyone, which is great. That's a great thing about Dark World. A lot of people will give their time up to everyone. Josue is an amazing producer and an ill songwriter, really. He's just truly a songwriter, a hook writer, songwriter. He adds like an aspect of Dark World it sounds Dark World, but it's his own lane too, and it's also like no one else really sounds like him, but he's doing a great job. Gods, it's just making, his own kind of music. God's Wisdom's just messed up. It's fun. His album just dropped. Sly C in Tennessee comes up here periodically. He's making his very Tennessee music. It's
definitely
beautiful. It's wonderful. Makes amazing beats, and he makes all his own videos. Everyone in Dark World, a big thing I think overall is like, all right, like everyone can kind of do everything. Like everyone's editing videos, everyone's editing their songs, everyone's writing songs, everyone's making beats, everyone's directing videos.
I think that's something that when Lewis was in here, we were talking, and he was like, that's the thing, is like it's not like Lucas is like managing anyone. Everyone is like kind of autonomous. They do their own thing, and they can do their own thing, but you help everyone out and collab and work together, but could do it yourself if you need to.
I mean, like Dana's 1,000 times better at making videos than I am. It's not like I should be making people. You know what I mean? It's like everyone has different strong suits. And some are better than others, and some are equal, and some are. But everyone has, suits. Everyone has a job. At the end of the day, if you want to find your job, it's easy. There's between, buying clothes and selling merch and designing merch and making videos and working on the website stuff and working on the online stuff or playing music, whatever you want to devote yourself to, you can probably do it at this point. Dana, Gods, Josue, Sly C. I mean, there's so many to talk about, but I don't know if I'm going to go into all of it. It'll take forever. You gotta look it up.
Yeah, look it
Dark
up.
World.
Read the Fader article.
Read Hanalo, freaking Perp,
Eric the Rat,
Chris Wardlaw,
the Warlock.
Ghost is one of the best producers ever.
Phenomenal.
It goes deep. There's lots of music.
Yeah, check out the Dark World YouTube page. You can see all the videos.
Dark World Fightle Cub. That's what it's called.
What is that?
Dark World Fightle Cub. It's like Fight Club, but the L got misplaced. Yep.
That's like the official URL.
It's been that since like 2010, but then like once you make it, you can't change it. So
you're locked in.
You got stuck with Dark World Fightle Cub forever. So it's like Fight LCUB.
Fight LCUB.
It's like Fight Club with the L moved.
Was that supposed to be, or someone just messed it up?
I messed it up. I made it. Like 2010. Dark World Fightal Cub. Forever.
Fightal
It's
Cub.
known as Fightal Cub.
Fair enough. So like I said, your new project coming out tomorrow, this Monday.
Yep.
Till Death Do Us Part 1 through Letter Racer.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just curious what you can tell us as far as what we should expect as far as like a sound, content. Just what should the listeners expect to hear?
Well, if you're a DJ Lucas fan already, then you're going to hear a lot of songs you already know, to be perfectly honest.
A lot of singles that came out
A
already.
lot of the singles, Where the Sidewalk Bends, Ballerina, Rockstar, a couple of them. But there's 17 songs on it total, so there's definitely a good 8 you haven't heard if you are a big DJ Lucas fan. If you're not a DJ Lucas fan, it's got the bangers. It's got the new ones. It's got the it's got the farm boy sound. It's got the the cowbell, farm rock sound going on.
Farm rock, yeah. I noticed that a lot more like farmy, like banjo, cowbell.
Yeah,
a lot of like very like I don't know what the word, but very like out there
it's
horns,
rural,
like
right?
very very
the
rural.
horns, yeah.
The horns are very
The horns
like,
are big because I'm a huge fan of like southern hip hop beats in general. Like
Yeah.
I was saying Lil Wayne, but like anything Big Timers or UNLV or any of this old New Orleans stuff, those beats are huge for me. Manny Fresh. So I try to bring those horn sounds and stuff, and T.I. King, like those kind of horn sounds into my beats as much as possible. Kind of like some football field horns going
got
on.
you
Yeah.
for sure. And where would you say like you see Dark World in the next year or two, or even 5 years, and where do you see yourself?
Next year or two, I just see us kind of continuing to do what we've been doing, probably on like a pretty DIY level, like we're doing everything ourselves, hopefully making some more money. Just, I'm playing lots of shows. I'm playing Hamilton College next week in upstate New York. Hopefully playing Harvard in like 2 weeks. And yeah, just shows, just working on stuff. I'm going to have a music video for Where the Sidewalk Bends on Monday that comes out with the album.
Oh, that's going to be
That's
incredible.
going to be crazy.
Yeah, that's a great
We
great
threw
song, and I'm sure the video. I saw the screenshots with I think that you posted with Gods as the Priest.
Gods as the Priest.
Should
It's gonna be. It's crazy. I saw the final thing last night for the first time, so it's crazy.
All right, I'll take your word for it. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, it'll
for
be
sure.
good. It'll be good. But it's gonna be a great project. I'm proud of it. It's probably the longest I've ever worked on a DJ Lucas project. It's probably like a little under a year.
Word. And we have a lot of production from you, of course, on there. But who else is you got on there?
Sway made a beat. Ghost made 2 beats. I made a lot of the beats. Z-Lord made 2 beats. Who's the homie from Virginia? Who made Where the Sidewalk Bends, and he's a sick producer. Shouts out Z-Lord. This guy named Hole Miner on the beat, who's just a guy who sent me a beat, made the beat for me in the WIKI song.
Yeah, I heard that one.
That kid is
sick.
cool. I talked to him a bunch. I'm gonna use some other beats he gave me too.
And then Lost in the Moment, that's someone else, right?
Yeah,
too?
that's this guy named Elf, who is just another kid online that I
Nice.
corresponded with. I usually do mostly my own stuff or Dark World homies, but then I'm always down to do the internet reach out thing
For sure.
with young kids. But yeah, I usually like to actually create some sort of, even if it's a small relationship with them,
It's
Just keep it up, talk to them actually, discuss with them oh, this is actually coming out.
It seems
Here's some money or whatever. Figure it out.
Definitely. It seems like you're pretty good at scouting talent and kind of like I said, you keep Dark World pretty exclusive, but it looks like you're open to adding people that can
If
really
it's
work,
right, yeah,
if it's right.
But, Sly was right, very right.
It's interesting to see because Sly obviously comes from a very different world, but it's a very different world, but it seems it still works together in a weird way.
Well, I think the biggest reason it works is because we're just all nerds.
Yeah.
Sly's from a different part of the country and from a very different background as me, but we both like going on the computer and watching hip hop videos and watching, making stuff and being creative and
Definitely.
watching movies or whatever. So the internet brings people together.
Definitely.
In
I think
a big way, as far as just your interests go. So yeah, that's exciting to see always, that there's going to be people from all over the country that just like the same stuff as you and have gone down the same YouTube K-holes as you,
Definitely.
Whoa, you know about that stuff?
this weird tangent.
Yeah.
I think it was funny, Sly just talking about everyone in the Fader video.
Yeah, that was
just
the best part of the
he's
video.
he's like, And Gods is probably the hardest one to understand, just because he's so weird.
He's so strange.
He's so strange.
That's something Sly would say. Shouts out Sly C. He's my guy.
Shouts out.
He would say, he's so strange. Or, golly. Shouts out Sly. He's better than anyone knows. His music's crazy.
And as far as features, who else do we have on the project?
We got WIKI on one song. We got Louis Go on the same song as WIKI. We got Josue on a song. We got Calvin Sarquand from Jaguar Pyramids on a track. We got Perp on a song on the Lost in the Moment joint.
You got Reed too, right?
We got Reed.
Yeah.
That's a big song.
Dude, I listened to that last night. Oh, it's
Reed
awesome.
verse.
Yeah, that verse is incredible for sure.
The ocean really rocky. All white Reeboky. So funny.
Reed's the man.
He says some crazy stuff on that song.
I can't wait until his new project too. I'm excited for that. 50 Tracks Part 2.
Next
right?
Reed, yep. That should come out. We might do a little thing called Reed and Friends before that.
Okay.
That's just like some collaborative tracks.
I
Like
got you.
EP, but definitely that's on its way. 50 Tracks Part 2. Reed takes.
Definitely keep an eye out for that. Definitely keep an eye out for that.
I'm trying to think of any other features. You listen to it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think that might be it.
Sway, Reed. It's pretty much it. Calvin. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I'm sure if we missed anyone, they won't catch feelings. They understand.
Maybe I will.
Hopefully not. And what can we expect from you as far as like future projects coming forward? Expect from you, and not only not you, but just Dark World in general. What do you guys have on tap?
We're gonna put out a lot of music soon. Reed's projects. Dana's put out his project, so he's gonna chill for a minute. I never know what Sway's doing. Has a new album called American Nightmare that he's working on. That's like, because the thing he just released, Self Restraint, is great, and I love it. It's wonderful. A lot of the beats are mine, but those songs have been around for a long time. He never released them for a year and a half, so the newest thing will be like all Gods, 2016, 2017 Gods, American Nightmare. And then, I'm just gonna focus some energy on this album. And I have a lot of songs that no one's heard. I have like 15 or 20 songs that I really like that no one's heard. So just making new songs, working on Till Death Do Us Part 2, Lucas Mansion 3. Just start putting those together. I don't know. I'm the kind of guy to just put out music and just keep putting out,
Yeah.
I put out 5 or 6 mixtapes in a year. So
Keep it fresh.
Keep it going.
Keep it moving.
Yeah. More videos, that's big.
Definitely. The videos are huge.
Make some more VHS stuff with the homies.
Another thing I wanted to ask you, but I actually forgot earlier, about the music videos. Obviously, you guys have got some crazy music videos, and like I said, it creates a whole aesthetic that's, sticks in your head. Mm-hmm. What would you say, like, your favorite video, like, as far as how it came out, what's your favorite video, and, like, what was your favorite one to actually film?
Wow. I think my favorite video ever is Reed, House Arrest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think my favorite video to film would be... That was a pretty fun one to film, but maybe G-Slide, because we had all the homies together, just like, those are my best friends, and just dancing in a funny way. That was a fun video to film. But House Arrest is really weird. I really like that one.
Definitely.
It's just like, what is up with this guy? Because it doesn't.
It makes him seem a little crazy.
Yeah, it's not really how Reed is, but it's a good story because the dog story is true.
Yeah.
He beat up his neighbor over the dog situation. But the actual video is just, I think it's captivating. My friend Nick Briggs made that video. He did a great job of just I don't know.
Yeah, the way it was filmed,
It's
very
weird.
interesting.
Yeah, it's
just
weird.
like the way it like slides out of the end and stuff, like
It's
definitely
cool.
tight.
It's fun. That's the house that we were staying at, subletting for me and Ghost were subletting for a month in New York City and Brooklyn. So it's funny to do it out there.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's a good one. G-Slide was fun. And if I was going to throw one more really good one there, I'd probably throw in Give Me Some Time.
Mm-hmm. That is incredible. That turned out
That one came
incredible.
together pretty quick.
Yeah.
It's a really good video. So.
There's a lot of like small effects I think really make that video.
Yeah, Dana killed that editing that. It's crazy.
For sure. And Before we finish up, do you have any last shout-outs you want to say? Anything?
Last shout-outs. Nah. Shout out Dark World. Shout out everyone for listening and caring. Shout out Toasty Z.
You know it. Hip Hop Made Me Do It.
Hip Hop May We Do It. Hip Hop May We Do It. DJ. Clean.
Do you have any, and before you go, do you want to spit any bars?
Damn.
Do you want a beat too? We can do acapella, or I can give you whatever beat you want.
I'll spit some bar. I'll just do acapella.
We're gonna do acapella.
But I'm gonna do some, just keep it real.
All right, fair enough.
All right. You would get high off the littlest nug. You get scared by the littlest pump. All right, let me try it one more time. You would get high off the littlest nug. You get scared by the littlest pup. You fake like a dribble and pump. Amherst, I'm in the liberal hub. They're like, you're in UMass. Why don't you make bluegrass? I'm like, because I dropped out of high school to do math. And everything in my brain, I don't want to lose that. But I would have done a lot of things differently last year if I knew that. DJ Lucas, man, I'm a cool cat. This is off the top of my head. I ain't write none of this. But you know how it is. Man, I really was going for it. I don't know. The first part was cool.
For sure, dude. You can have something written if you want, dude. Got anything in your head? Anything off the album people haven't heard that's tight?
All right, I'll do something off the album.
Yeah,
I'll do something new just to blow people's minds. All right. Secret Service bumping every single song. They came into my crib and put the bugs on my dogs. I called my boy and I told him get the bong ready. I called Pert and I told him get the long Freddy. Cape Cod, Pete Town, the long jetty. Wrong plane, man, I'm in the wrong city. Took a bus home on the Greyhound. Shit took 8 hours, I don't play around. And I hate when they round, like the other parents at the playground. I hate the layout of my town at night. This cops posted that there's no way round. How do you get a car from Cuba that cannot be found? Sly hit me up in Tennessee, I'm going down. I told him we gonna make it big, and that's just something that I vowed. Every time I hit the city, yeah, we draw a crowd. And my mind was stressed until I came up on this pound. I hit up 15 boys and I only kept 1 ounce. I hit up 15 girls and showed each of them what I'm about. Honestly, it might have been 20, I'm losing count. And my shop is always open, it's never closing, cause I'm on the internet and I'm selling clothing. I can't participate in this, I ain't even voting. You smoke the letter I, cause all the fucking L's are broken. Oh, I couldn't have sworn. But oh well. DJ.
It's all right. We'll add it out later. Young Mr. Clean, DJ Lucas in the booth. Hip Hop Made Me Do It. DJ Toasty Z.
DJ Toasty.
DJ Toasty.
Secret Service bumping every single song.
For sure.
Came into my crib and put the bugs on my dogs.
DJ.
All right. Thank you.
We're rocking here. Of course. I'm glad to have you. DJ Lucas, Till Death Do Us Part 2, coming out tomorrow. When you're hearing this, it'll probably be already out. So
get that.
Go cop that. You got the cassette through Roulette Eraser,
it
too.
exclusively comes out on BitTorrent initially.
Okay.
Supposed to say that.
BitTorrent officially.
And then, SoundCloud, YouTube, all that.
All that
It'll be
jazz.
free.
It'll be free. But you could cop the physical. You could cop the cassette.
You can cop the cassette. Please go do that. Buy the cassette on Roulette Eraser's website. And Ghost made all the art for that, so shouts out him.
Yeah, shouts out Ghost. Killing the game. Once again, thanks for coming into the studio and rocking with me today.
Thanks for having me. Let's do it.
Let's
DJ.
get it. DJ.
DJ Toasty.